Hey there guys, Micah here, head of Sleeveless Comics, and before we get started with today's video, just want to let you guys know that 3 Nights 4 Days has reached $9,200. So we are officially $1,800 away from being funded on this particular book, and we are one away from hitting 150 backers. So I'm curious to see out there who is going to be that lucky number 150. One thing to add on top of that, we're going to be putting out our first campaign update today with the work in progress on the poster itself, so that way people can actually see that poster. In fact, let's actually do something a little bit better. There you go. Here's the work in progress on it. There's still some touches that need to be done on it, but I think it's looking fantastic. This is by the same artist, Chris, who had done our poster for Inglewood. So I like the style. I call this Battle Prayer. So, gonna be a great looking piece when it's finished, to say the least. I love it. I love the look of it. So, let's talk a little bit about cancel culture. Let's talk a little bit about impropriety. So, this lady, Kara McGee, I don't know who she is. So let's look at her profile real quick. Let's see here. Pronounced Kara. Oh, hey, I got it right. Awesome. I personally am not a fan of when people, like, mispronounce my name. You know, like, the first time, it just kind of drives me crazy. But, anyway. It says Dodge City 2018, Black Canary 2019, 86 to 2020. Don't reflect the da-da-da-da. I don't exactly know who this is. This doesn't really tell me anything. I guess she works in comics? I don't know. But she's actually thrown some allegations at the way of one Robbi Rodriguez. Now, for those who don't know who Robbi Rodriguez is, he's a comic book artist who I want to say worked on Zoe Quinn's Goddess Mode, but I could be wrong about that. But what I do know is that he did do an issue of America Chavez, and he also did a lot of work on the Spider-Gwen series, which is now dead. So, mostly because nobody cares about Gwen Stacy, Hatman. But, in all seriousness, this is an interesting little bit. So, she says here, I've been quiet about it for a long time, but I've never been able to enjoy Spider-Gwen since shortly after the series first debuted, Robbi, in this case that would be Robbi Rodriguez, invited one of my best friends and I to his hotel room for a threesome. I've tried to laugh off and downplay what happened, even just to myself, but the truth is I was crushed when it happened. I genuinely liked Robbi and had been his friend for years and felt so cheap and useless after that. I had a hard time seeing Spider-Gwen getting so much acclaim and being such an icon for young girls in comics when I'd seen Robbi treating girls like trash and had been warned about Jason. I'm still glad that this character exists and is being written, drawn by other creators, but still. It's just so discouraging to know that some guys in the industry will always just look at you as a sexual object and not as a professional peer or even just as a friend. Like, even if Robbi was just kidding, I laughed it off at the time, my friend and I fumed about it privately later. How dare he put us in that position? And then she continues to rant on about some other stuff. So, and I love how she tries to soften the blow here. I feel the need to clarify that Robbi didn't, try to lure me into bed by saying, hey, I created Spider-Gwen. That doesn't help his case. Oh, good lord. So, what I want to talk about in this particular case. So, obviously, Robbi Rodriguez is a bit of a creep. Now, granted, one of the most infamous things that Robbi Rodriguez has done is he sent Ethan Van Sciver a picture of his butthole. Yeah, that's a thing that happened. And obviously this is wildly unprofessional behavior, but I don't really expect this to sink him any more than, again, sending a picture of his butthole to somebody is going to. I think that Marvel doesn't care. I really don't. I think provided you have the right politics and you're a ally, they're going to let stuff like this slide. I have no reason to believe that Robbi will lose work any more than he already has, because every book he touches never goes anywhere. Mostly because just as an artist, he's not really that great. He's kind of overrated. But anyway, that's my personal opinions. The fact of the matter is that one thing that I'm starting to notice, and this kind of goes with several different individuals, like my favorite writer ever in comics, Warren Ellis, basically canceling himself because of being a womanizer. And then, of course, my former boss, Angry Joe, being accused of sexual impropriety when really all he was guilty of was flirting. I'm genuinely starting to wonder, and this is just me, but I'm genuinely starting to wonder if there is going to be a future necessity for professionals in comic books, myself included, obviously, and the way that we behave around women. Because I'll be honest with you, when I'm feeling, as the kids like to say, feeling myself, when I'm feeling good about being me, I will freely admit I could be a flirt. Now, thankfully, I'm ugly and fat, so I don't really have to worry that much about my advances being turned to, or ever being accepted. And if they ever were, I'd be like, wait, what? Seriously? So, yeah. But the fact of the matter is, I genuinely wonder if there's going to be a necessity in the future for men in the industry to basically be hyper-conservative about how they act around women. Because the culture that we live in right now seems to think that any rejected advance or any sort of situation where there is a bit of regret afterwards is suddenly sexual harassment or sexual assault. Now, that doesn't fit the actual definition of sexual assault, but that's kind of a moot point. The fact of the matter is that it can doom your career to talk to a woman incorrectly these days. Kind of weird when you think about it. You know? It almost feels like, in a way, let's say that there were women in the industry who did think that Micah Curtis is a sexy man. I would basically have to wait for them to advance on me first before I could even do anything as a bachelor. You know? And it's a weird situation to be in. It really is. So one thing that I would do, because I'm sorry for the constant yawning, I'm still waking up. One thing that I would honestly suggest to young men who are looking to get into this profession is keep it in your pants. And if something does start with a lady, it needs to be something that is organic and gradual. You know, it's just going to have to come with being friends first. And to be honest with you, saying this is somebody who's been in several relationships, oftentimes that's the best way to go through life. Meet a good woman, become friends, and then that friendship turns to love. You know. But there's your love advice from Micah Curtis here at Sleeveless Comics, just for you. Now, in all seriousness though, we're entering a point where Me Too has affected the culture so much that you can't really even be a flirt anymore. Crazy to think about. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that. So, once again, 3 nights, 4 days, live on Indiegogo right now. And as I showed you, the poster is being worked on, almost finished. There's some more color touches that need to be added to it and things like that. But it's ready and available for you. If you want the poster along with the comic, all you have to do, commit to the comic. And when you do that, you're going to see a series of add-on tiers as well. You just add on the poster and you're ready to go. So, with all that said, my name is Micah Curtis, your favorite vanilla gorilla. See you next time.